how's it going? It's that Nerd Ryan here, and today we're going to talk about Call of Duty World at War. Just beat the game last night, so it's fresh in my mind. Also, just so you know, we're not covering zombies fully in this. We're going to talk about it really quick at the end. But if you're interested in watching my view on zombies, I already have a video up for that. So go ahead and watch that. Today we're going to talk specifically about the campaign. Unfortunately, actually not unfortunately, but I own a PlayStation 3 and 4. I do not own an Xbox. So I don't have the re-releases of Call of Duty that now have live multiplayer. So we're not going to cover multiplayer, unfortunately for you guys. But I'm proud to own a PlayStation. I'm proud to own a 3 and 4. So, yeah. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the campaign. So this is a split story between two factions during World War II. Obviously, if you don't know what World War II is, there's this guy in Germany that decided he basically wanted to take over the world. So he invaded Poland, then tried to basically invade all of Europe. He worked with Russia at the beginning, then Russia got betrayed, so they ended up having to fight Germany. And then Pearl Harbor happened, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, so America fought back. So the branching stories here, you have Russia fighting Germany from Stalingrad to Berlin, and then you have America fighting Japan. I will say the more interesting story in this is the Russian story. The American story is fun, but besides Robach and the character you play as Miller, I can't tell you anybody else's name or character trait. While in Russia, you got Reznov, you got Dmitri, you got Nikolai's character, Chernov. There we go, Chernov. You got kind of a better written Russian team than an American team. So basically, America, you're playing as Marines, you get picked up and saved by your unit, and then you kind of push to take over a Pacific island in this story. What's cool with the American one is you get a flamethrower basically through most of it. A lot of the American missions, you are taking out bunkers, taking out mortar teams and stuff like that with your flamethrower. Fighting the Japanese soldiers is very interesting because unlike the German soldiers, they do rush you, and you do have kind of a quick time event if they get to you, where you have to dodge their bayonet and then stab them. Germans don't do that, but the Japanese do. So you always have to kind of be on your toe. If you hear somebody yell "Banzai," you know that somebody's coming. You also get a mission where you're in, I believe, a B-52. You have to kind of run around and use the different guns. You're not playing as Miller in that level, but you're trying to defend or destroy a Japanese shipment, then defend the U.S. Army, or the U.S. Fleet, which was a pretty fun mission because you're bouncing everywhere, you're saving survivors, you're doing a lot. It's interesting that there's only one gunner on this giant plane, but that's besides the point. I don't know if that's historically accurate or not. I feel like they did it so that way you can play on different guns and not just sit there for 20 minutes on one gun. In the Russian missions, you get to play as a tank, but we'll talk about that when we talk about the Russian missions. I do feel, though, that the American mission does kind of end unceremoniously. So, basically, you're spending all this time using your flamethrower and your machine guns to stomp out Japan on certain islands, and then jump forward, you're out of supplies, you have no ammo, nothing. This is the final American mission. So you go, you get your supplies, and then you get ambushed. So you have to push up and destroy a castle. Before you get to that castle, there's some Japanese soldiers that are surrendering. They false surrender, they kill your sergeant, and then you have to call in an airstrike to destroy the castle. That's how the American story ends. It's very unceremonious. It literally, I played this when I was a kid. I completely forgot what happened in the American story except for the first mission. And last night I was like, oh, that's all. Okay. Like, there was no, like, big victory. That was for Russia. So the Russian story kind of starts, I want to say, a third to halfway through the game. The Germans are going through, they're basically executing Russian soldiers that are about to die, or one of the Russian soldiers. They walk past another one, which is Sergeant Reznov, gets up and he's like, okay, I'm going to need your help to take out these Germans. Get your, take my rifle, and then you have a whole sniper mission going on. So you do the sniper mission, you take out the, like, German officer that's running that area, and then it fast forwards about 3 years. Here you're going through, you're taking out the Germans in a Russian area, and then I believe after that you move on to driving the tanks, which was pretty fun, driving the tanks and blowing up other tanks and artillery and stuff like that. It makes you feel invincible, but you're not invincible. But then after that you go, you take out more German supplies and stuff like that, and then you take Stalingrad. So, not Stalingrad, sorry, Berlin. So it starts with you guys in the streets and everything. This is like the third to last Russian mission. You're in the streets, just after, like, basically bombing the city. Then you go down into the subway system. In that, they flood it, it ends, it does the American story, or finishes the American story, then you go back. You get out, and then you have to take down the Reichstag. So you have to slowly push your way up the stairs, and then the mission ends, and you're in the last mission in the Reichstag. You take out all the Germans there, and you plant the Russian flag on top of the Reichstag. And that is the true victory moment and end of the game. So the gameplay in this, it is literally copy-paste from Modern Warfare, just with older weapons and everything like that. And actually what was funny was I found the slow-shooting assault rifles more effective, or the hunting rifles, I guess you could call it, more effective than the automatics in this game. Usually I go for automatics even when I play Warzone. This, it just felt easier to use the slower shooting guns because they packed more of a wallop. What else was kind of a weird change in this, to me, not weird but more realistic I guess, is if you shoot somebody and they don't die right away, you know, in Modern Warfare they'd be down trying to shoot you. These games, they will crawl and then die. They do not try to fight back 90% of the time. Like, there's a 10% where they'll try to fight back, but usually they'll try to crawl away and then just bleed out. I thought the voice acting in this was great. Gary Oldman did a good job. I didn't know Kiefer Sutherland was voicing Robok in this, which I don't even know where Robok was in the fighting. He just narrated, unless his name was Robok Miller. I don't think it is, though. That doesn't sound right. But yeah, so it was just very fun and everything. What else I thought was cool was that each famous Ultimus Zombies character is a model from this game. So, like, Chernov is Nikolai, the Japanese soldier that's about to execute you at the beginning of the game. is Takio. Your sergeant is Tank, or actually Polanski's Tank. I'm sorry. And then the German officer that you execute at the beginning of the Russian story is Richtofen. So I thought that was pretty cool that you get to kind of see these guys in the world. Other things like that, you get to hear a lot of famous zombie sound effects in the sound mixing in this. So the first mission where you're in Berlin, every like 2 minutes you just hear the start sound from zombies. You'll randomly hear like the ending sound of the round sometimes. There's other stuff that I'm trying to remember that, like, I started texting my friend and I was like, dude, this is actually triggering my fight or flight for zombies every time I hear it, because I'm like, oh god. Another thing is you get to see three of the original 4 maps, and I feel like kind of Kino in this too. You get to see Nackter and Toten in an airfield during the American campaign. You get to see Verrückt during the Russian campaign, as you're in Berlin, I believe. Maybe it's the mission before you start going to Berlin. You get to see Shino Numa in one of the American stories. And then you also, I feel like you get to see like a beta of Kino der Toten in the second to last mission for the Russians. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool seeing that and stuff. We already talked about gameplay. We kind of talked about characters. Obviously, Reznov's the best character in this. Everybody on the American stuff I barely remember. There is no singular villain like there is in the Modern Warfare series or in Black Ops. It's just fighting the good fight for whatever country you're fighting for. But yeah, let's quickly talk about zombies. So in my review for the World at War Zombies maps, I did actually play the Black Ops versions. I wasn't going to spend an extra $60 on a 10-year-old game just to get maps that I already had twice over. So I went and just used that. I did play Nackter and Toten after the ending credits roll for World at War. And it is a different experience. Obviously, you got different guns, but the zombie sounds are more haunting, more inhuman. It's freaky. I did only last till round 7 because I got a little cocky. But, yeah, it's the same experience, but it's different. But yeah, so World at War altogether, I believe I gave the zombies a 8 out of 10 or something about that. I'm going to give the story a 9 out of 10. Giving this fully a 8.5 out of 10. I feel like multiplayer in this would have probably lasted along the lines of zombies and everything like that, so 8.5 out of 10 is my strong ranking for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. Next week we're doing maybe the finale of Power Rangers. But yeah, make sure you guys have an amazing day. It's that nerd Ryan, signing